tattoo artists, what pieces are you tired of doing? If I have to tattoo the entire Declaration of Independence on one more fat dude's back, I'm going to scream. I worked as a shop manager for a little bit. My boss, the head artist, was getting super burnt out on big cats, specifically lions, wearing crowns. In about a month, he'd done 5 realistic lions, and a panther, wearing crowns on dudes who wanted to feel like kings. I had to start politely turning them down when people called to inquire about them. Sorry, Ian's not really interested in doing more big cats this month. Tattoo artist from Alabama here. I am not religious at all, but I think I've ascribed the entire Bible on human flesh at this point. Especially Leviticus 19:28, right? Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. From my tattoo artist friend. Pocket watches surrounded by roses. Me scanning the thread looking for descriptions of my tattoos. Went to a tattoo artist in Noco once. He asked what I was thinking of doing. I said I want an outline of, and he just sighed and said, listen dude, I'm sorry, but if I have to tattoo Pikes Peak one more time I'm gonna lose it. For the record, I was asking for a rat, and he apologized profusely, but I thought it was hilarious. I know 3 different Coloradans with Pikes Peak tattoos. Not an artist, but as I was setting up my last appointment, my artist and I were talking at the front desk, and the person at the reception at the desk took a call, said just a minute, and asks my artist, hey Kev, do you have time for a walk-in today? He looks over and says maybe. What do they want? An infinity loop. Are they on hold? Yes. Fuck that. I'm so fucking sick of infinity loops. Tell them I'm busy. So I think infinity loops for Kev. I love it how he checked to make sure they were on hold and won't hear him before equals. It was pretty funny. The receptionist asked why he didn't want to. It wouldn't take that long, and he says, look, I just spent 5.5 hours tattooing creepy fun shit on this dude. I'm having such a good day and some woman wants to ruin it with an infinity loop. How do you know it's a woman? Come on. Fucking snake coming out of the eye of a skull, and why does the guy who wants this tattoo always have a perfectly groomed goatee? The Chinese word for water or hope or whatever else cliche term. I know a guy with fried chicken and Chinese on his arm. It's pretty funny when he meets someone who speaks the language. They either appreciate the joke or just get really confused. IDK, but 20 years from now there's gonna be a lot of old people with mandala tattoos and tree silhouettes. And tats under tits. I think for some their tits will eventually conceal those tats. Tit for tat. My GF got titties tatted under her tit. I have a palm tree with the words good vibes under mine. We figured if we were going to regret tattoos we should really regret them. It's an anchor to symbolize I can't be held down. I always thought that was an odd one. Isn't it exactly what an anchor does? It holds you down, lol. Asked my buddy. He said, if I have to do another goddamn Latin paragraph on a chick's ribs, I'm gonna shoot my brains out. Ironically, he was doing one on his GF at the time he told me. Clocks, especially those assholes that go back and forth between the laser shop and the tattoo shop to get the time updated. Mine told me he is refusing to do any more forests around someone's arm. My sisters and I all got the same. Tattoo 3 pine trees and 2 tiny birds flying out of them in dot style a couple of years ago. We thought long and hard about what to get, and they have a lot of meaning to us. I love my tattoo, especially when I'm with my sisters since people always ask about them, but since we got them I see fucking forest bands everywhere. Makes me feel a little like a basic bitch sometimes. Oh well. I have a couple chemistry tattoos, and my artist made a comment about girls getting dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin with the word happiness. Seemed like he might have done a few too many. For Australian artists, Southern Cross Tattoos. Not an artist, but the tattoo shop I go to back home in the Caribbean has a running tally of how many times they have to tattoo palm trees on girls' ankles. Fucking crowns, OMG do I fucking hate crowns. With that being said, I did one tonight. My husband has a matching crown tattoo with his ex-wife. I find it hilarious as it was her idea and then she left him 6 months later. His surname is King and he has a few tattoos so it doesn't bother him all that much. However, it's her one and only tattoo and obviously no longer her surname. After they broke up he asked her what she was going to do about it. She replied by saying I'm leaving it alone to remind me that I deserve to be treated like a princess. Hilarious and amazingly cliche. My wife is a tattoo artist. She's not tired of doing anything, as long as the price is right and you're cool. You can be getting the sweetest tattoo ever, but if you can't sit still, bring 3 friends and 2 toddlers, and share way too much information about your personal life, that's a hard no. My first tattoo artist said he refused to do anything gang related, racist, or the Tasmanian devil. Nah. I'm happy to do all of them. I get my satisfaction from a job well done, not from how cool the tattoo is. Don't get me wrong. I have things I enjoy drawing more than others, but tattooing is a trade first. It's not about me, it's about my client. I apprenticed in a shop but had to move before I was able to start tattooing myself. What I noticed personally is the artists in the shop weren't necessarily tired of doing the same designs as the personality of people getting them. Such as, guy who thinks he has a crazy pain tolerance but almost passes out. Girl guy who freaks her himself out to the point of shaking, puking and backs out at the last minute, and really anyone who could use attention to hygiene. The list goes on and on. As a physician, anyone who claims to have a high pain tolerance does not. However, if their so says they do, they do. Sounds about right. A friend of a friend had rolled his car. Old car, no seat belts. If I remember right, he was thrown out of the car too but seemed fine. His wife said he was complaining his back hurt a little. Apparently he never complains about anything, so she made him go to the hospital. His back was broken. I hate when couples get each other's names tattooed on each other's arm and crap, because then like 2 weeks later the dude will come back for a cover up because they broke up. It drives me up the wall. Return business drives you up the wall. If somebody paid me to create a sand mandala and then paid me to blow it all away, I'd probably still be kinda bummed. As a developer in an industry where backpedaling on ideas is common, paid or not, it's still annoying to have to rip out your own work right after you've done it. I see a lot of people with the Harry Potter Deathly Hallows symbol. Overdone yet? I'm an apprentice right now, but practically all of the artists in my shop have agreed on a few things. Infinity symbols, especially with words, anchors, birds, feathers that turn into birds. However, that being said, my mentor followed that up with, but that's your job security. You'll always have girls coming in for the most basic tattoos, and no matter how tired you get of them, they'll pay your bills. Nautical sleeves. I'm from an island and fuck is it brutal trying to make it unique when every 5th person has one. Anchors, compasses, maps, etc. Feathers and pocket watches are close seconds. I'm just gonna get I'm unique tattooed on my neck. I'm also gonna get I'm unique tattooed on my neck. My first tattoo was I love you forever and always in my mom's handwriting on my foot. While my tattoo artist was doing it, another artist came in the room to ask what I was getting. When he found out it was script on my foot, he asked, let me guess, live, laugh, love. He awkwardly left after we explained it wasn't that and in fact my mom's handwriting. So, I'd say he's sick of that. Not an artist, but my friend told me what his artist said. My friend has a full sleeve that wraps around to his chest. It's all incredibly well done. He finished his sleeve by getting a tattoo of Virgin Mary on the inside of his bicep. It's done absurdly well. The guy who my friend goes to has some beyond comprehensible talent when it comes to making faces. He has a few other faces as part of his sleeve and they're all equally as amazing. After his appointment, my buddy told me that his artist told him that the Mary face was the final face he was ever going to tattoo and he was done with them for good. According to my friend, this guy's talent for tattooing faces isn't a secret and he gets tons of people requesting him for faces, mostly deceased loved ones or famous people. The guy is apparently so sick of only tattooing faces that he's out of the game. He wanted to focus more on patterns and animals. I'm not an artist so I DK what that's like, but if you're willing to give up tattooing something so well due to sheer volume or frequency, then it must be a lot. The only reason the artist did the face for my friend is because he did the rest of his sleeve and gets along really well with my friend, so he wanted to finish with a bang for a good customer. I'm curious how people do Chinese letters if they can't write the language. Same with Hebrew or Arabic. late to the party, and my first tattoo was a tramp stamp on my 21st birthday, but one of the things my 2004 tattooist told me was that he was doing at least one Godsmack song a day, a design from whatever album they had out at the time. And as I was sitting there getting tatted, a dude walks in asking for that exact thing. I busted out laughing, but my guy was professional. He told him he would do it but that he would feel more comfortable doing something more custom. The guy didn't sway, though, and after I finished up, dude got himself a Godsmack tattoo. Not me, but my sister. It's not a specific thing, but she hates when people want tattoos with too many ideas in it, and by that I mean, for example, a Lord of the Rings character holding a lightsaber while fighting a Dementor on a Velociraptor with a banner that says clever girl. Or like Minnie Mouse holding a football team's logo in front of her while also being within a pink cancer ribbon but wanting the image too small. Small enough that it won't even look good with how much detail it would need. If you're like me and just want good art from a variety of talented artists, find an artist that does art you think is rad, then ask them if there is any art they have done on canvas, paper, digital that they want to do on skin. If they show you something that you would like on your body, you will guaranteed get a tattoo that has that little extra that makes for a great tat. My cousin is an artist and this was his tip to me. I'm not against face tattoos. I have friends and peers that wear them quite well. My issue is 18-year-olds who want to get them because they want a certain look. Pop culture has made them seem a lot more acceptable than they actually are. At the end of the day, in the majority of careers they will hinder employment. 1. Snakes. 2. Skulls. 3. Snakes coming out of skulls. How about skulls coming out of snakes?